Everybody loves speed, until the bill arrives. Because growth at all costs is basically borrowing time from the future. And the future? The future charges interest. Here's the twist. Sometimes speed is a superpower, and sometimes speed is a crime scene with a PowerPoint deck. So tonight we're going deep. When speed is strategy, when speed becomes legal debt, when speed becomes ethical debt, and how the interest gets collected by regulators, lawsuits, customers, and the one collector you can't ghost, reality. Quick disclaimer, this is education, not legal advice, but it is reality advice. The big idea, name the monster. Let's name what's really happening. You've heard of technical debt. You ship fast, cut corners, and later you pay to clean it up. Now meet its older, angrier cousin, legal debt. You grow fast by ignoring rules, exploiting loopholes, or moving so fast compliance can't find you. Eventually, the law catches up. Then there's ethical debt. You grow fast by quietly harming people, privacy violations, deception, unsafe products, predatory incentives, while telling yourself it's just metrics. And here's the law of the universe. Ethical debt becomes legal debt, eventually. Because the public gets mad, regulators wake up, and suddenly your growth hack becomes evidence. Act 1. The rocket ship myth. Picture a startup as a rocket ship. In the beginning, speed is survival. You're racing cash burn. You're racing competitors. You're racing irrelevance. Speed feels holy. Speed feels like faith. People start preaching the gospel. Don't ask permission, ask forgiveness. But here's the secret nobody puts on the motivational poster. Forgiveness is not a business model. Forgiveness is a request. And regulators, they don't do requests, they do receipts. The interest collectors, real stories. Case 1, fake it till you make it. There's a famous Silicon Valley spell, fake it till you make it. Works great for confidence, works less great for medicine. Elizabeth Holmes and Theranos became one of the clearest cautionary tales of hype outrunning truth. She was sentenced to over 11 years in prison for defrauding investors. The punchline, dry but accurate. Turns out, moving fast is not a substitute for working. Case 2, when targets create fraud. Now, let's talk about the most dangerous growth tool ever invented, targets without ethics. In 2016, regulators said Wells Fargo employees opened millions of accounts that may not have been authorized, driven by sales goals and incentives. They paid massive penalties, and the fallout lasted for years. Oversight, reputation damage, operational limits, executive time burned like incense on the altar of "we had to hit the number." That's the interest, not just money, years of consequences. Case 3, when trust collapses overnight. When FTX collapsed, it showed how fast trust evaporates and how hard the law swings when it believes fraud is involved. Sam Bankman-Fried received a 25-year federal prison sentence. That's the highest interest rate possible, your life. The 3 debts, the real map. Underneath growth at all costs, 3 debts usually stack together like a cursed sandwich. Legal debt, regulators, lawsuits, investigations. Ethical debt, deception, harm, privacy abuse, safety shortcuts. And human debt, burnout, fear cultures, pressure to cheat, and meetings that begin with "don't document this." And here's the part leaders hate. Even if you win short-term, the debt still exists. You didn't delete it. You just moved it off-screen. And off-screen debt becomes on-screen disaster at the worst possible moment, during an IPO, during an acquisition, during a crisis, during a competitor attack, during a whistleblower moment. When speed actually helps. Let's be fair, speed isn't evil. Speed helps when decisions are reversible, experiments are small and testable. You're iterating toward product market fit. You're learning faster than competitors without breaking trust. Speed helps when mistakes are cheap and fixes are fast. But speed becomes dangerous when decisions are irreversible. Harm is pushed onto customers or society. Incentives reward numbers more than truth. And leadership builds a culture where honesty feels risky. The Guardrails Playbook. All right, let's make this practical. Here are 7 guardrails that let you scale and still sleep. 1. The 2-metric rule. Every growth metric needs a harm metric. Track signups, track complaints. Track revenue, track refunds. Track engagement, track regret. If you only measure speed, you'll worship speed. 2. Compliance as a product feature. Treat legal and privacy review like performance testing, required before launch, not punishment after launch. 3. Pre-mortem meetings. Before shipping, imagine the headline. What's the worst story this feature could create? Then design against it. 4. Incentives that don't reward lying. If someone can hit the target by cheating, someone will. Not because they're evil, because they're human under pressure. Fix the system, or the system will fix you in court. 5. Red team your growth hacks. Assign someone to argue against you. How would regulators see this? How could users be harmed? How could this be abused? If your idea survives that, it's stronger. 6. The discovery rule. If you wouldn't want it read aloud in court, don't do it. And if you do it, document the ethical reasoning, not the conspiracy. And 7. The trust budget. You have a trust budget with customers. Every deceptive design spends it. When trust hits 0, growth gets expensive. Higher churn, higher acquisition costs, brand decay. Trust isn't soft. Trust is economic. The finale, the story's truth. Here's the ending, because every story ends with one truth. Growth at all costs isn't ambition, it's impatience disguised as strategy. And speed without ethics is like driving a supercar with no brakes. You'll feel like a god right up until physics remembers your name. Grow fast, but grow clean, because if you don't pay the cost up front, you'll pay the interest later, and later is always more expensive. Call to action. So here's my question for you. What's the most dangerous phrase in business? Is it fake it till you make it? Move fast and break things? Or we'll fix it after we scale? Drop your answer in the comments. And if you want part 2, the 10 growth tactics that create ethical debt and the cleaner alternatives, let me know. Like, subscribe, and share this with one person who's currently worshiping metrics like it's a religion.